There are places on Earth that feel less like landscapes and more like warnings, not because they are dangerous in the way storms are dangerous, but because they look like something that should not exist under a living sky. In the far northeast of Ethiopia, near the border with Eritrea and Djibouti, the land breaks downward into a wound in the planet's surface, a place called the Danakil Depression. Here, temperatures regularly climb above 50 degrees Celsius, 122 degrees Fahrenheit. The ground is not soil, but salt, lava, and acid. The air carries sulfur instead of freshness. And in some areas, rain has not been recorded in years. If you were to remove the sky, you would not be able to tell whether you are standing on Earth or on another planet. At the center of the Danakil lies one of the most extreme environments on Earth, the Dallow hydrothermal system. Here, water does not behave like water. It rises from deep underground, already transformed, saturated with iron, sulfur, and acid when it reaches the surface. It does not form lakes or rivers. It forms pools of liquid chemistry. Yellow sulfur fields spread across the ground like solid sunlight. Green and orange mineral crusts grow in slow motion, as if the earth itself is rusting in real time. The air smells like a constant chemical reaction. Hydrogen sulfide, sulfur dioxide, chlorine compounds. A mix that feels less like atmosphere and more like inhaling the Earth's internal processes. Scientists often describe Dallow as one of the most hostile environments for life on Earth, not because life is absent everywhere, but because even life here has limits it rarely crosses. And yet, life exists here, not in abundance, not in comfort, but in fragments. Microorganisms have been found in extreme acidic pools, organisms that survive at pH levels that would dissolve human skin. Salt-loving archaea exist in evaporated crusts. These are not ecosystems in the traditional sense. They are biological exceptions. Each one is a question mark. How far can life be pushed before it stops being life? And yet, even here, the answer is not absolute, because Earth does not produce boundaries. It produces gradients. Life does not end at a line. It fades into possibility. To the south lies another fracture in reality. Erta Ale, the Smoking Mountain, one of the few volcanoes on Earth with a persistent lava lake. At night, the crater glows like a second sun trapped beneath stone. The surface of the lava is never still. It folds, breaks, reforms, a moving skin of molten rock that reflects the earliest state of the planet. Standing near it feels like observing Earth before it learned to cool. There is no silence here. Even stillness has motion. The ground vibrates softly, constantly, as if the planet is breathing through its bones. And in that moment, it becomes clear this is not a landscape that exists for observation. It exists because the Earth has not finished becoming itself. But the Danakil is not empty. It is inhabited by the Afar people. For centuries, they have lived in one of the hottest inhabited regions on Earth. They move across salt flats with camel caravans, extracting salt blocks from the earth and trading them across long desert routes. Their economy is not built on extraction in the modern sense. It is built on endurance. Water is measured in distance, not abundance. Shade is not comfort. It is survival. Time is structured around heat, not hours. To outsiders, this life appears impossible. But for the Afar, it is continuity. The land is not an obstacle. It is a system within which life is organized. They do not ask why anyone would live here. They ask how anyone could live anywhere else. Scientists often describe the Danakil Depression as a natural laboratory, a place where early Earth conditions are partially preserved, where chemistry, heat, and tectonics still behave in raw form, where the boundary between geology and biology is still being negotiated. But this phrase, natural laboratory, misses something important. A laboratory implies control. The Danakil has none. It is not designed. It is not stable. It is not waiting for interpretation. It is simply a system operating at the edge of planetary possibility. And perhaps that is why it feels alien. Not because it is foreign, but because it reveals Earth without its familiar compromise. If you stand there long enough, between salt plains, acid pools, and volcanic fire, something shifts, not in the land, but in perception. The Earth stops appearing as a habitat and begins to look like a process, always moving, always unfinished, always becoming. The Danakil Depression is not a place that breaks the rules of nature. It is a place where the rules are still visible, raw, unfiltered, unsoftened by life. And in that exposure, it tells us something quietly unsettling. The planet was never made for us. We were simply made inside it,